Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, KSR College of Arts and Science for Women. Let's discuss microprocessor and microcontroller. Definition of digital computer: an electronic system that represents data using discrete values, typically binary zeros and ones, and processes its via stored instructions. Definition of microcomputer: a computer built around a microprocessor as its CPU with memory and I/O devices connected through buses. Examples of microcomputer: personal computers, laptop, desktop computer, tablets. Microcomputer organization. Microcomputer organization is the structural arrangement of CPU, memory, input-output devices, storage units, and buses that works together to perform computing tasks. Computer languages. A computer language is a formal language used to communicate instructions to a computer so that it can perform specific tasks. Computer languages can be classified into low-level language and high-level language. Low-level language can be further classified into machine language, assembly language, and high-level language can be classified into third generation, that means C, C++, Java. Fourth generation language is SQL, and fifth generation language is Prolog. Microprocessor architecture: internal structure that determines how instruction data move and how operation occurs. ALU is the arithmetic and logic unit, performs arithmetic logic and updates flags. Control unit fetches and decodes instruction from memory and also controls execution and data flow within the processor. Register is a small high-speed storage locations inside the CPU. High-speed memory located close to the CPU stores frequently used data and instructions. 8085 microprocessor initiated operations. Microprocessor initiated operations are fundamental task. The CPU executes the communicate with memory and peripherals. These operations are initiated by the microprocessor itself. The different types of operations are memory read, memory write, input output read, and input output write. 8085 bus organization. The address bus is A0 to A15. It carries the address of the memory or I/O devices. It is a unidirectional 16-bit bus, so it can address up to 64 kilobyte memories. Data bus is D0 to D7, transfer data between the microprocessor and memory I/O devices. It is a bidirectional and 8-bit bus. Control bus. It carries control signals such as read, write, and interrupts. It controls and coordinate data transfer operations. Internal data operations. These are the operations that happen within the microprocessor, such as storing data in register, performing various ALU operations, doing test conditions, sequence the executions of instructions, storing data temporarily in stacks. 8085 registers. The register provide fast storage for operand addresses and intermediate results. These registers can be classified as general purpose registers, that means B, C, D, E, H, and L. These can be used to store data temporarily during the program execution. Temporary registers W and Z. These 8-bit registers are reserved for internal processor during the executions of the specific instructions. Specific purpose register, accumulator, flag register, and instruction registers. 16-bit register is program counter and stack pointers. Peripheral or external initiated operations. Externally initiated operations are processed triggered by external hardware or input-output devices rather than the internal. These operations are managed through dedicated pins on the microprocessor chip and fall into 5 primary categories: interrupts, resets, hold, ready. 8085 pinout and signals. The 8085 is housed in 40-pin dual inline packages. Key features of this pinout includes address data pins, key control status pin functional purpose, interrupt pin typical set, reset clock, serial I/O. 8085 functional block diagram. This is the block diagram for 8085 microprocessor. The 8085 is an 8-bit microprocessor with an architecture divided into 3 main functional units: the ALU unit, register array, and the timing and control unit. These sections are interconnected by an 8-bit internal data bus and multiple address buses to execute instructions. ALU accumulator flags compute and record status. Register array temporarily data and address manipulation. Instruction register decoder interrupts opcodes, timing, control, organize machine cycle and external signals. Address buffer and data buffer drives receives the signals. Instruction set classification. Instruction is a binary pattern designed into a microprocessor to perform a specific function. 8085 instruction set classification categorize data transfer, arithmetic, logic, branching and machine control. Thank you.